Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Murray. I'm the founder of Pure Healing Insight, and I offer techniques that are based on energies and systems. So first of all, thank you Becky for inviting me to Pagan Pride Day, and I hope you're all enjoying the day, the videos, and I hope you enjoy this one. So I come from a background of being very much immersed in nature. I grew up on a farm in southeastern Pennsylvania and went to college in Colorado and was studying wildlife biology. And I realized that what I really wanted to experience was nature directly. So I lived in a community up in Oregon, up in the mountains, completely off-grid, and learned a lot. And then realized that I really wanted to know how to survive in nature. And I ended up meeting a French man who became my first husband, François Couplon, and he taught me about the plants and their properties, their edible and medicinal properties. And so we moved to France, and I was part of an effort to teach the edible and medicinal plants of Europe in seminars and survival trips that we would lead into the mountains, the Alps, and other places in Europe. And with that basis of being immersed in nature, I realized how important nature is for us. And, you know, we are beings that live in nature. We are energy beings in a physical body. If you look at this here, this is the human energy field. This is who we are. Our physical body is just a tiny part of that. And so as such, energy beings, and every being that is on the earth is an energy being living in a physical form. So we live in these physical forms within systems. So what I'd like to do tonight is to give you a taste of what it is to be energy in a system, and how to work with those energies. I offer 3 different modalities. The first modality is crystal energy therapy, which is an energy modality, of course. The second one is family constellations, which is a method developed by Bert Hellinger from Germany, and I'll go into that a little later. And the third modality that I use is astrology. So all of these modalities work with energy and systems. And so, you know, just knowing about the world that we live in, we are surrounded by frequencies and things that are not always beneficial for us. The modern world has made it so that we live in a sea of frequencies that have been created by man and that are not in sync with the natural order of things. And this has created a lot of havoc in our bodies, in our systems. And so what can we do? How can we bring back the balance that we've basically lost by living in the society that we live in? Well, we can do a lot of things. And for instance, grounding is so important. Going out in nature is just key to keeping our energies strong, because that's who we are. We are an integral part of nature, and by interacting with nature, that's how we keep our bodies and our beings healthy. And the the modalities that I offer have that. So circling back to the modalities that I offer, the first modality that I started practicing was one that I created over several decades, and I call it crystal energy therapy. And what it is using the human energy field as the basis and crystals as the tool to work with that field. And so what's going on is that these crystals, which are beings that have grown underneath the ground in Pachamama's belly, these crystals hold energy, and they are capable of absorbing energy, in particular negative energy. They vibrate at such a high rate that they tend to just pull our vibratory level up with them. And so when using these, we are synchronizing our energies with the crystals. Just to tell you kind of how I got here, when I was in France, I studied naturopathy and neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, and I was certified in both those modalities, and I opened my business to start practicing. I had also been introduced to the healing properties of crystals, and I really wanted to develop that, and I realized that in my patients, my clients, they were also asking for that, and so I developed this method, and it has proven to be very effective for harmonizing the energies in the field. And just so you know, any kind of symptom or disease or anything that's out of whack in the body always begins in the field. So when we go into the field, we can sense what is going on in different places, in different organs, in the physical body as well as in other things like the emotional structure and even the mind. We can pick up on these things. And by using the crystals, we can modify certain energies. And at the same time, what's happening is that I'm downloading information from the field. The way I work is that I open myself to higher energies, to my guides, my healers, and I invite the guides and healers of the person who's getting the treatment. And we all work together as a team. And this is powerful work because as a team, we come together and we do the things that are in the highest and greatest good of that person, because they're pretty much running the show. What I'm doing, I'm channeling and allowing the energies to come through me and intuiting what is needed where and at what time. So that's the basis for this modality. It's so interesting because when you talk about systems, so this is the system of the human being, the human energy field. But there are greater systems that exist, of course, and that I work with. And one of those systems is the family system. And of course, that is the system that we're all born into. It's the first system that we actually encounter when we come into this earth plane. So family constellations was developed by a man named Bert Hellinger in Germany, who was a Jesuit priest who went to live in South Africa with the Zulu tribe. He stayed about 10 years, and I'm not sure what his mission was going, but coming back to Germany, he brought with him things that he learned from the tribe, and studying other methods like Gestalt and NLP, he developed family constellations with the idea that a family system is a whole, and when certain elements have been excluded from the system, and that happens a lot, those elements create an imbalance. And so the system feels like there's something that's wrong or off, and the members of the family system are going to feel it, and they're going to actually act upon it unconsciously. When a child comes into a family system, they unconsciously know that something is amok, and so they're going to resonate with one or several of the members of the family that have been excluded. Now, this exclusion can happen in many different ways. For instance, maybe someone died in childbirth, so that person, rather than honoring them and remembering them, we tend to want to forget because it's too painful to remember. And or even the simple fact of the way most of the families here in this country, in the United States, have experienced. Most of us come from either Europe or Asia, and our ancestors left their families behind, and some of them never ever saw them again. So this creates a deep trauma in the system. So what we're doing here is to bring back these elements and give them a form, so that they can express themselves, and we can bring about a resolution, or at least a calming of the field, because those energies are being recognized. I hope that's clear. So I'd like to say something about the process of family constellations, which really, I'm very passionate about this. And so how it works is that the way that Bert Hellinger developed this anyway is that people come together in a group, and humans are representing the energies that are being worked with in the family system. And that's an amazing way of doing it, and I love doing it that way because we really get a lot of energy moving, and it's very, very life-changing. I also offer this as individual sessions, and how that works is that I'm going to be using crystals to represent the different elements, whether they're people. You can also work with ideas and things. It's not just limited to people. So, and the beauty of this is that when you're struggling with something, some sort of issue that it's hard to see an outcome or any kind of resolution, this is a perfect method to find that resolution. And it doesn't always happen like right away. Sometimes we have to come back and revisit. But it is a beautiful, beautiful process, one that I am completely passionate about. So, so moving from family constellations, so we have the human energy field, and then we have the family system where humans belong, and then we have a greater system that I work with, and that's astrology, and that's we're working with the solar system and the planets and the astrology signs, which are constellations that are found on the ecliptic. So they're part of our galaxy, the Milky Way. And not to be confused with family constellations, because I know there is, it's the same word. And I think the idea with family constellations is that we are creating a form of constellation when we bring about the people to represent these energies. But it's very interesting when a child comes into the world, it brings a birth chart. And so a birth chart is basically, it's based on when the child is born, the time, the date, and the place. And a birth chart is, it's like a life map. And here we have the field, which is the constellations, the different signs, and then we have the planets that are interacting, and this gives us information about, you know, the person and what kind of challenges they might have, their gifts, and the kinds of experiences that they're going to be having as it relates to the different archetypes in astrology. So there we have the connection between, you know, the family constellations and then astrology. And so with astrology, the kind of information that we get is, it really helps us to understand our place in the universe and what we came here to do. And it's, a friend of mine said that it was like the map that she holds as she's on a ship, and so she can use this map in order to direct her life. And it's true that astrology is really an amazing tool that way, and it's you know, it's as old as we are. It's an amazing symbol system that I find absolutely fascinating. And so I practice astrology, you know, simple birth charts, and I do other types of charts like a solar return and the secondary progression, which gives us more information as it relates to where we're at now. And so that's the overview of the techniques that I practice. And I would like to invite you to participate if you're interested. So I'm doing a special for Pagan Pride Day. And if you'd like to benefit from that, instead of $144 for a session, I'm offering them for $108. And so if you're interested, please check out my website at purehealinginsight.com, or you can also contact me at my number, which is 302-507-6548, or email me at purehealinginsight@gmail.com. So, well, I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and if you have any questions, I'm totally open for your feedback and your questions, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you. And enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.